after this week, the next 4, in my opinion, are pretty tough. 5, I guess, because I think Jacksonville's the 5th team. But you go to Baltimore. It's not going to be easy. You come home against Pittsburgh. They're not a good football team. The Steelers.
I know.
They're not a good football team. They're not.
That's what's so frustrating about this whole thing is that, we're 5-3. No. This is not a competitive football team. This isn't. This is a competitive defense, maybe.
Yes.
But this offense 100%. Is so poorly run that it took Matt Canada to get actually onto a football field in order for that team to have some semblance of competency beyond the last 3 minutes of a game. And even then, it took last night a final drive, one of the final drives in Kenny, but not the final drive, because I couldn't believe that how many times Tennessee got the ball back after that 4th and turnover. That Kenny Pickett remembers how to play football when there's 3 minutes left, and I don't get it. I don't get it with him. It's not even a clutch thing.
No.
This isn't like a guy who's just throwing darts down the field and hitting like these tight windows in order to like find these receivers. These guys are just getting so wide open that you and I could be hitting them. It's so dumb.
Look back to when we played them on Monday Night Football. The one touchdown they scored, George Pickens was in the middle of either lost in man coverage or in the middle of zone coverage and breaks away for a touchdown. Nobody could get him. How many times have we seen that now the past few weeks? If you're a Steelers fan and you're out there and you're listening or you're watching us right now, you cannot tell me you think you're a good football team. You can't.
I don't think they do.
Because we're gonna pull up the stat I read you today.
Okay.
At 5-3, the Steelers are the 34th team since 1933, 90 years, when rushing and receiving stats were first tracked, to be outgained in each of their first 8 games played of the season. They're the only one of those teams to have a winning record afterwards. The Steelers are also the only team this season to be outgained in every game they've played, as they've been outgained by 790 yards. Not 79, not 90, not 70, 790 yards. There's only one team that's worse than that, Mitch, and it's the Denver Broncos, who gave up 70 points in a single game against the Miami Dolphins. I don't want to say it's luck. Are they getting breaks, though? Yes, they're definitely catching breaks. Listen. You can call me out for this if you want. I think no matter who wins a championship every year, basketball, football, baseball, hockey, college, pro, even high school, you have to have some sort of resemblance of luck to win it. You have to have a break go your way. That ball has to bounce your way.
Sure.
That guy has to step out of bounds when he thought he was in bounds. That's what's happening with the Steelers, right? To me, that's exactly what's happening with the Steelers.
The opposite happened last night because Pickens thought he had the touchdown, but he didn't get that second foot down.
Yeah, exactly. That's a game that, unless something catastrophic happens to the Browns in the next 2 weeks, the Browns are going to win. I truly believe that. I don't care who plays quarterback. Okay, I am not scared of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You're not?
I think the Browns lost that game for one of 2 reasons. We don't win in Pittsburgh outside of the playoff game in 2020. Right, but they provide a bulletin board material, and
right.
Whether it's professional athletes or high school athletes, it doesn't matter. That stuff does matter.
Sure,
I've seen it firsthand before when I was playing. And you lost the heart and soul of your football team.
I know, yeah.
And that to me is hard to come back from. I think you can even look back at Green against McKinley, who had a giant lead this year, and you lost Samino Manson, and that played a factor in how they blew the game to McKinley.
Okay,
when you see one of your leaders go down, it hurts. Not only that. That is your hated rival in Pittsburgh. When that crowd is giving you a round of applause as you get carted off, not because they're happy you got hurt, but because they understood what happened and what type of player Nick Chubb was, that says something too. I'm not afraid of the Steelers. The talk today is, are they a legitimate playoff contender?
No.
You know what?
Stop.
And guess what? If they are, the same thing that happened in 2020 is going to happen to them again.
Yeah.
They're going to get in the playoffs, and they are going to fade, and they're not going to know what to do because they're just not a good football team. Now, if you make mistakes, they're going to beat you. That I will. What did the Browns do in the Monday night game? Pick first play of the game. Goes the other way for 6. That killed you. But you're right. Last 3 minutes of the game, Kenny Pickett all of a sudden's like, oh, hey, I remember how to play football now. Matt Canada somehow is like, hey, I know what play to call to where somebody's going to be wide open. screw it. We're 2 weeks away from that game.
I know. We'll focus
We
on
got to
that
beat Arizona.
29th in points per game. Barely beating out New England, the Giants, and Vegas.
So you mean Vegas, who just fired their head coach and
Yes.
general manager and
Yeah.
benched their starting quarterback they just signed. New England, who has no good quarterback because I don't think Mac Jones is a good quarterback.
No, he's
and the
not.
Giants, who signed their quarterback to a $160 million contract extension, who are underdogs this week against a team that just fired their head coach, general manager, and
Yeah.
benched their quarterback.
Yeah.
Those are three trash football teams.
That's not good.
Those are three trash football teams. We're done. We'll worry about it when we come back to Pittsburgh. But the Browns, this is a must-win game against Arizona.
Yeah.
If they lose this game, I think you're going to be in a world of pain because of I think if you lose this game, the first thing that's going to come up, and it's whether it's right or wrong, is going to be, is it the right coach? Why isn't Deshaun Watson playing? Now, he hasn't been ruled out yet.
Right.
I don't know what to expect. Although
he talked yesterday, and that was a whole thing where, like, some were saying, "Oh, well, he's not sure if he's going to play," but then, like, I didn't know what to make of that whole press conference. I
don't think anybody did. I don't think anybody outside that Browns locker room, and maybe not even outside the Browns locker room. I don't know if some people in the Browns locker room knows what's going on right now. You can't tell me the coach does, because the coach against Baltimore said he's playing and then he doesn't play.
Right.
And then against Indianapolis, it was he's playing. Luckily, sorry, that's the wrong choice of word there, because I am not happy Deshaun Watson had to leave the game for concussion protocol for a second. But with that hit, if Deshaun Watson plays that game against Indianapolis,
we'll probably lose.
We're not winning that game.
Yeah, probably.
And it's that's why you don't want Deshaun Watson's first game to be back against Baltimore, because I just don't think that's a recipe for success in Baltimore. At the same time, though, you have to win this game first. You have to go 5-3 and not 4-4 before you go to Baltimore. And so I don't think when the season started, I'd be sitting here telling you Sunday, November 5th might be the biggest game of the year for the Cleveland Browns. I don't think I would have said that against Arizona because you knew Kyler Murray was going to be out. I think before the season started, you kind of thought Colt McCoy would be the quarterback. Then we thought it was Josh Dobbs. The Browns are in a really weird spot right now because this is such a monumental game for them in the season.